we've spoken about some big brands. I'm going to bring it home with a not-so-big brand in the Cleveland Browns, who did beat a big brand in the 49ers this week. And I want to talk about them, their defense, but also the current state of the AFC North. So we've spoken about defenses the past few weeks. Is it the Niners are the best defense? Is it the Dallas Cowboys? Well, guys, I've got news for you. In the first 5 weeks of Cleveland's 2023 season, they've only conceded or given up 1,002 yards, which is the least amount of yards conceded, or the third most least amount of yards conceded ever. Well, since the 70s at least. Right?
Yeah, we saw this earlier, I think. Like, their defense is incredible.
It is truly elite. And get this, I was having a look at some other stats. In terms of first downs allowed, the Browns have allowed the fewest first downs. The Bucs are in second place with the second fewest first downs. There is literally daylight between the two of them, where the Bucs have allowed double the amount of first downs the Browns have. They are truly a force, and we saw it in this past week. Yes, we've spoken about San Fran and the injuries. No Debo, no CMC. But hey, when CMC was actually on the field, they contained him to 3.9 yards per carry. And if you take away that 1 yard for that one run for 27 yards, they contained him to 1.5 yards per carry, which is no other team has managed to get him under 5 this year for mine. So really a force here. And I want to just take a step back and look at the AFC North. And we mentioned our preseason predictions earlier, or I did at least. And in this division, I think we all said Cincinnati would take the division out. I said Browns would make the playoffs, and I just want to amend the prediction. I don't believe in the Bengals, and I know they're slow starters historically. They've just not shown me enough. So I do think it's down to the Ravens and the Browns. And let's have a look at their respective schedules for the remainder of the season with some noteworthy matchups. So the Bengals are yet to face the 49ers and the Bills, and they are coming up in the next 2 weeks consecutively at the Niners and hosting the Bills. They close out their season at the Chiefs and playing against the Browns, who we know got beaten by them 24-3. Bengals are gone for mine. Steelers, they have a relatively soft schedule, but they're a fucking soft team, so let's just not worry about them. Baltimore schedule, they have the Lions next week, the Seahawks week 9, at the Chargers week 12, the Jags week 15, at the 49ers week 16, and at the Dolphins. Hosting the Dolphins week 17. That is a tough fucking slate. The Browns have the Colts and Seahawks in back-to-back weeks, next 2 weeks, but they have a luxury of having not faced the Broncos yet, the Bears, and the Texans, all winnable games. So I think the Browns have a real shot at this division, and I think the Browns at Ravens in Week 10 is going to ultimately decide who takes out the division.
Better question, who's going to play quarterback, though?
Doesn't matter. It showed this week. They had PJ fucking Walker and they beat the Niners. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, but you can't turn the ball over like that every single week and expect that it's going to go well.
Against one of the best defenses, or the NFC's best defense?
I'll use his terminology, trap game.
Nah, fuck off.
Dude,
Trap
game, baby.
I don't believe in trap games.
Do you think they have...
I don't believe in the Browns.
Do you think they have an offense that can be even remotely competitive with the better teams?
No.
I'll believe you, Matt, if Nick Chubb was still healthy and with them.
I think that's the big
Hey,
thing.
Jerome Ford, though, man. He's good, bro.
He doesn't give the same
no
impact.
comparison.
Come on.
No comparison. Not a home run hitter. And Kareem Hunt
Good player,
looks like
good
he's been
replacement,
off.
but not a Nick Chubb.
I think they're a 500 team in and around. I'd say Baltimore probably beat them home, but Lamar Jackson finds injuries.
Look at that Baltimore schedule, though, Mitch. I'm going to say it again. They have the Lions next week, the Seahawks week 9, at the Chargers, at the Jags, at the Niners, hosting the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, other than the Niners, they're all teams where there's still question marks about them, though. They're on that second tier. Like, the Lions, have they proven it yet? The Seahawks, the Chargers, like, it's not... Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Niners, like the perennial last 3 years.
Jets.
I don't know. There's enough. The Jets are probably in the Steelers schedule. Are they?
The fourth.
Yeah, because they'd be third.
The fourth, the Jets came.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry, they'd be in the Browns. Yeah.
Well, you even said Lamar Jackson's probably 2 or 3 weeks away from... Not he's going to be
well, I
in
didn't say
around
he's
that
going to
time.
get injured,
No,
but he's...
around that time that he sort of gets those niggles or doesn't really injure...
Get smashed.
Get smashed, yeah.
You're trying to find a nice way of saying he's going to fucking blow his knee out again.
It's hard to...
Could be his Achilles.
It's
Oh,
hard.
no.
It's just hard to anoint them as a division winner when Cincinnati and Baltimore have such an advantage at quarterback.
I'm putting it down to that Week 10 game.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that game wins a division.
I don't know. I think
The
Yeah.
week 10's too early. Still have another 8 weeks after that.
Yeah, but again,
I see what
Baltimore
I see
close
your
out
point.
Brandon.
I really see it. I just think the Browns will finish. They'll beat one of them home, and the other one will.
But is
beat
that
them,
the
they'll
last? So that's
finish
the last
second.
time they play each other, week 10, because they've already played this year. Wow.
yep.
Like it could be a division where everyone finishes between 8 and 9 and 10 and 7. Like
They're the only division where every team's over 500 at the moment.
yeah, and the Steelers always find a way to win games, particularly as it gets colder defensively. Browns have that similar profile.
Yeah.
But to crossover first downs, let's say the Browns win the division and they host the Bills in the playoffs. Do you think the Bills can't get past the Browns?
Oh, fucking, of course they can. But I still think they suck.
I mean, the Buffalo thing's about expectations, I think. Like, whereas the Browns are now, it's like, oh, yeah, they've got a good defense. And they have a number of high draft picks on their defense. And they've been a reasonably good defense for most of the last 5 years. But now it's like, well, has anyone in the AFC really taken an offensive step forward? Buffalo haven't. Miami may or may not have. Kansas City look worse offensively than what they have. They've just lost so many players.
And they're usually okay with losing players.
Yeah,
but
Tariq Hardman.
At a given point, like it just becomes so much. Their squad, as John was saying, is really thin outside of that top 4 or 5 players.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That is true.
Well, the Browns. Maybe, maybe not.